LOOT.BET. Made for live betting.
And we're back. Time for game number 2 between Wind and Rain and PRIES Gaming here in LOOT.BET/DOTA Season 1 tournament. Of course, LOOT.BET, if you are a betting man, you can go ahead and do that on that site. And you can also enter the code LEAGUE with your first deposit, and they will double their amount, or its amounts, for up to 200 euros. So, go ahead and check that out if you're so inclined. Always bet responsibly, etc., etc. Lizard.
Be responsible or I'll spank you.
Yeah, exactly. So unless you want to have Lizard visit your home and spank your ass, just be reasonable, you know? And don't cry about 3-2 in the chat, because that's just making you look like an idiot as well. But that's beside the point for now. Wind and Rain off to a good start in this series. 1-0. Shadow Demon now with the first pick. On the other side, Dark Willow and Centaur Warrunner. What do you make of that?
I love it. Dark Willow and Centaur is really good. Also, they ban out the Mars, so Dark Willow plus Centaur is even better. Usually Mars is picked versus the Centaur, as you can just use that arena to stop him from charging out, from stampeding out, that is. Dark Willow and Centaur is also a pretty decent lane. Like, you're definitely strong. Shadow Demon is one of those heroes that can deal with the Dark Willow, however, as he has that poison that goes through her Shadow Realm, Dark Realm, or whatever the hell, when she goes all annoying and TPs away from you.
Yeah.
And Wind and Rain, alright, they go with the Shadow Demon and Pudge. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? You have that Pudge to also work really well versus Dark Willow. I like when Dark Willow came out, Pudge was in a pretty decent spot too, and I used to spam him. And what I would do is just get Vessel and Blade Mail. And if she goes on you with Bedlam, she just dies. It's very easy for you to deal with her.
Yeah, it seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you think Wind and Rain are going to mix it up right now and put the Pudge on Cube?
10 seconds
Or is
remaining.
I mean,
still
they
gonna
could
be the
do
blue
that.
one?
Yeah, they could do that. Let's see if they ban out something
5
like
seconds
Nyx or not.
remaining.
If you're PRIES Gaming right now, Nyx is pretty good versus you, as you have Centaur and Dark Willow. And it's also really good for you because he crushes Pudge in the lane.
Yeah.
So it definitely should be a hero that's on your mind. Isn't really in the best spot at the moment, but I don't know. It's still a Nyx. It's all right. And you have Centaur for that Vessel. I mean, to be your vessel, to be the hero that brings you into the fight.
I mean, Centaur turns everyone into a lifestealer carrier, really. So
Radiant team ban.
it could be
Well, they
helpful. For now, it's the
PRIES
Kunkka
Gaming
Japan.
ban out the Kunkka.
Dire
Alright.
team ban.
Broodmother taking up a Wind and Rain this time. So I guess this idea of the hero coming out is ripe between these two teams.
I mean, when you see the Kunkka ban, you're instantly thinking, yeah, we need to ban out that Brood, or they'll pick it. Does Hannah play? I think Hannah plays Broodmother as well. So
Yeah, I think
10
so.
seconds remaining.
and,
It's still can leave Sven in the pool. Do you want
5
to consider
seconds
that right now
remaining.
for either team? Or is it just... I mean, I guess it's a super popular carry for good reason.
I mean, he's had his ups and downs. Wind and Rain banning out that Slark definitely makes me think that they are thinking about the Sven as well.
Yeah.
As Slark is one of those heroes that deals with him fairly well. So you're thinking, I don't know, you're definitely thinking about the Sven, about the Wraith King again, about the Troll, maybe even that Naga is on your mind. But if Wind and Rain wanted to pick the Naga again, I don't know why they would ban out Slark, as that hero just crushes him. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. They're taking their time, PRIES Gaming, with this
Dire
ban.
team
They
pick.
ban out the
Radiant
Nyx.
team
Yeah,
pick.
Okay.
very interesting that they ban out the Nyx and pick Jug. I'd rather, if I was them, I'd rather ban out the Jug and pick Nyx.
Yeah.
You have a BKB piercing disable as well with the Pudge. So you have ways of dealing with the spin TP out. And if you pick the Nyx, Pudge really suffers hard. But then you're thinking maybe they put Pudge on Cube and they pick something that's good versus Nyx on the lane.
Yeah.
In any
10
case, I'd
seconds
rather have the
remaining.
Nyx than the Jug in this particular game.
Well, I'm
5
sure they thought
seconds
had something in
remaining.
mind with that. But it's also this thing with how do you deal with this kind of flexibility on the other team when one hero that you see doesn't really give you an information that you need because it can be either 3 or 4, and both of those are very scary with the kind of players that will be controlling that hero. But yeah, Wind and Rain. Well, they're facing a more or less straightforward draft, like we've seen a lot of Centaurs and Juggernauts for sure, and also a decent amount of Dark Willows. So they're looking for the extra cores. They're gonna
Dire team pick.
have to decide at some point
Enchantress.
how this is gonna look like. But Enchantress, that's a bit of an interesting one.
I think this should be Boogie then. Enchantress position 4 or 5 is pretty bad. So picking her offlane is alright. But Jug is considered to be one of those heroes that can deal
Yeah.
with Ench. As you have
10
a lot of
seconds
attack
remaining.
speed and you have that spin to work with on the lane. He's not the greatest counter,
5
but he's
seconds
decent.
remaining.
He's not a hero that Enchantress just completely crushes.
Yeah.
But
When you-
Pudge plus Enchantress, I think they can definitely dominate.
Thing with Enchantress is that you actually don't have a lot of health points. Like your survivability early on is dependent on your untouchable just for the right clicks, but the spin of course doesn't really care about that. So all you need is just a little bit of control to make sure they can actually get that spin out, because Enchantress is also pretty damn fast on her feet. Much faster
Unless she
than
gets
Juggernaut.
heal and a
Unle-
couple of fairy fires turns on you and kills you. That's
Yeah,
also
that's
also what happens
right.
very often.
Yeah.
But I get your point and I agree with it. Also, if he jumps on her later on with Omni Slash, he can take her down and out all on his own. So we'll see what they do with the Sench, but it's not a horrible Ench game. It's all right. Like Ench right now is also in a pretty decent spot and isn't really picked a lot. If you're PRIES gaming, you could be thinking about something like, well, you have last pick, so you don't have to pick mid right now.
Radiant
Lina is
team
pretty
pick.
good though. They go with A.
Okay.
Yeah, they're saving their midder for last. A is decent versus Ench because she can't heal herself when you hit her with
Yeah.
your ulti. But in the lane, Ancient is goddamn awful versus Ench. She should
I'm gonna
with
harass
Pudge,
you with my chilling touch.
Yeah.
2 years later, the last one actually connects.
10 seconds
Yeah, I think
remaining.
Pudge and Ench should really dominate this lane super hard.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, that's the plan. I mean, it certainly worked out decently well for Wind and Rain last time around. So what they could still use, though, is I guess Shadow Demon's more inclined to just be the safe lane support then. But you could also be a part of some
It
weird aggro trial lane, just spamming poison and whatnot, setting up for Pudge going in.
It should be Alisage on position 5 Shadow Demon without poison. Last time I saw them play with Shadow Demon,
Oh yeah, right.
he basically goes safe lane, doesn't even get poison. He's position 5, maxes out Soul Catcher and Disruption, and that's about it. Not the biggest fan of that kind of a gameplay, especially versus Dark Willow and Ancient, as they're super squishy. You can blow them up on your own, even when you're 5. But he does bring a lot of utility with that build, and we'll see what they go for in the last 2 picks.
Still catcher very powerful, especially against tanky heroes like Centaur. Just snap 40% of their health right away.
PRIES Gaming, they don't have a lot of reliable catch, and anything Wind and Rain is very like they can pick anything on mid,
Dire
that's
team
all right, or
back.
even an AM safe lane. They go with the
Hello.
Dazzle. All right, so they're planning to do something a little bit different. They want to be really aggressive. I'm just thinking what they will do when it comes to their last pick carry. I just want them to give Faye again something like a Naga or even an anti-mage. This game would be all right. Just give him something that's really obnoxious and late game.
10
You know,
seconds remaining.
if this Dazzle is even this, if this Dazzle is
5
even
seconds
mid,
remaining.
most likely it is. Most likely.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, but most likely it is. In any case, just give Faye something that's late game. Don't go
Radiant
all in on
team
this early
banned.
game. Yeah, AM banned out by Wind and Rain. AM also a hero that's decent versus Jug. With Manta, very good versus Willow versus Ancient. But they got the point. They banned out the AM. There's still Naga in the pool. There's still, I don't know, something similar. Figure it out. you're playing with Faye. I'm not.
10 seconds.
I'm done with
remaining.
that. I'm not playing
Team
with him.
pick.
Oh, they ban out the Pugna. All right.
Dire
Let's see what they
team
last pick. Terrible.
Yeah, that works.
Not really a hero that anyone picks,
You may now select your hero.
but Wind and Rain will because Faye. It's his hero pool is all
It's-
right, and
yeah.
Terrorblade was always one of his heroes, even when I was
Absolutely.
playing him. But Terrorblade is definitely not the best hero at the moment. Jug is also like it's very easy for Jug to get on top of him and just ulti him. But there is a wish with Dazzle to grave Faye, and Faye can use that ulti.
Yeah,
Then again,
it's also the ancient apparition that you have to worry about. So the moment you get
Yeah.
hit by Ice Blast, like it's taken a while for Terrorblade to get a bunch of stats going, a big health pool, which you're going to need in this game because this.
yeah.
And until then,
And Tinker, by
Juggernauts-
the way.
Yeah, Tinker together with Ancient Apparition, so you have a lot of burst damage. With that, you prevent healing, you prevent the Sunder from doing anything, I believe. And then you're gonna have the Juggernaut with, I presume, a pretty good anti-illusion build in this game with like Maelstroms, maybe Radiance or something like that. And I mean, it's not gonna be a free Terrorblade game, even with the Dazzle. Kind of buying you some more time in certain circumstances.
Yeah, we'll see. Tinker gets Ags and destroys Terrorblade
Yeah.
later on anyway, so we'll see how well the Tinker plays. It's always interesting to see Tinker played, and we might be in for a long haul. It might go really late this game. I mean, I liked both drafts. We'll see how it pans out in the end. Both drafts are very gimmicky and out of the meta, so see how these players play them out.
Yeah. I want to say though that Wind and Rain, they have a lot more riding on the early game. I mean, Terrorblade, one of the best late game carries in my book. But you gotta get there first. And if this lineup falls behind, the mid game is just non-existent, I feel like. Because like you're gonna lack damage output at one point. Whereas on the other side, you've got Tinker can always go in, you're gonna have the Juggernaut that can kind of scale reasonably evenly across the game, depending on what kind of build he goes. Centaur also does a good amount of work. But we will see. Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Wind and Rain, they're up 1-0. Maybe afford to experiment a little bit, try out a bit of a crazy strat.
30 seconds to battle.
It is the Dazzle
we
made
see
on Wish.
Yeah, just a classic Dazzle mid.
Yeah. Boogie also on Enchantress, like you said. And we're gonna see the Cube Pudge this time around. Are you happy about that? I'm happy about that.
That's definitely a pog. He has Windlay's 3 mangoes. Probably going to skill that hook first when you start like this, I guess.
There's quite a few heroes around here, so maybe not worth. Oh, but hey, look at this. Elisashi sneaks Rune. He was just the distraction right now. I mean, might lose a Shadow Demon here, but no defensive hook. There you go. So that's one way to do it, you know.
Does it help?
Let's have your friend steal the rune, then hook him out, rather than hooking the rune out itself. Right, so aggro tiling though, with this Juggernaut up against the Terrorblade. I can't imagine that to be a fun lane for Faye though.
It shouldn't be, and that's why he's just running away. He's going top. I guess Enchantress will be the one that goes back bottom. One of the ways to dealing with Tench is just dodging the lane and not playing your carry versus her. Not playing like some stupid tri-lane versus Ench in which she still wins. But instead you just dodge the lane and you put one solo hero versus her, and then it doesn't matter.
Yep.
And that's what they're doing at the moment. However, Boogie didn't start running bottom, so he's going to be very late to that bottom lane.
Didn't want to miss out on that experience top. At least Cube is down here to soak some of that experience here, getting closer towards that level 2. Very important, even for 4 position Pudge, of course.
Especially if it's a Cube Pudge, gets that level 2 fast. Can help you out a lot. And she will be frozen here. And now Jug just forced stop because...
All
there
the way
we go.
tower... No, not quite a tower range actually, but Screen will still end up dying. First blood being drawn.
That's like full range hook right there.
Absolutely.
I mean, that I like that was really good. That was really good.
We
That
were hype.
hook,
Yeah, that was a
that-
cube punch.
like 90% of players, they don't even try for that hook. He's too far, you know. He's just
Yeah.
way too far. You don't try for it. That
Not
was
him
really
though. He
well
knows
played.
exactly how far he can hook it. It's great. Mid lane though. Oh god, wish. Gotta be a bit careful. Is Tinker 2 points up on laser, 1 point up in heat-seeking missile right now. So already committing to.
Yeah,
Bit of more of a
for
lane
the
dominating
lane.
build.
Yeah, I think Tinker should do all right here because he poison touches you, you laser him, and that's it, right? Oh,
There we go.
is that it? Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. But poison touch on Dazzle, 120 mana, has 1 mango to work with. Tinker has no more mana to work with, so the next poison touch could be fatal for Hannah if he's not careful.
And does have a bottle coming out already, so he will be able to heal up in a moment. I wish certainly, taking advantage of this momentary respite here, getting a bit of extra CS here and there, and should also be able to deny that Invis rune.
Poison touch? Oh, why didn't he bomb the creeps? Oh, I think he had the kill there. He had the kill there. He had the kill there. I'm like 90% if he healing bombed the creeps instantly. If you use the shadow wave on the creeps, plus the poison touch, he could have gotten him. Bottom lane, Yoku.
Being dove very deep, and it's too deep as it turns out. Cube just running him down. 2 points up into the meter, just gonna deny himself any. Yep.
Yeah.
He's trying
takes
at
some
least,
time.
but he's healing too much.
Yeah,
Even
it
without the
takes some
flash heal.
time. He stopped.
What?
He
just
bought
got
the
some
smoke.
money.
Yeah.
Ah.
He's gonna buy another
the TP
port, I
scroll?
think. Yeah. Top lane, Shadow Demon is falling here. Yeah.
I'm not joining your little cult.
Well, taking another opportunity to TP to another lane, mix things up a little bit. So at least the Juggernaut, he's doing what he wants. Central also doing this creep skips of his own. It's gonna need to be responded to, but what do you even do? Elisasha and Shadow Demon? Gonna need some extra help from the Pudge if they really want to threaten him. Boogie also making his way out, so there's a disruption. Missing out on a few of these creeps anyway.
Run off.
Slow. There's Tinker going down in mid this time with Cube actually rotating in on that.
Yeah. Just Cube making space everywhere. He has been in 3 assists out of the 3 kills that they've been in.
I think secure the regional. Yeah, I mean, is that enough though? Because like they're starting to fall behind a little bit in last hits overall. So
No, I think that's good. Hook again on the, oh, that was very close.
I feel like you need
the
another
hook.
camera just for Cube at this point.
Yeah. And just follow him around. That's where the action is going to be. You don't really. I'm serious. Like he's going to control the tempo of the game on this. It's a position for Pudge. Other heroes will follow his movement as well, or maybe a little bit of a disenchanters on the top lane, as Boogie is being gone on.
Oh, almost got frozen here. Still with a couple of body blocks. Not enough damage here from the spin, even at level 2. So he's healing up.
Yeah,
Auto
you can't
go
go.
back and forth. Yeah.
Radiant's top
2 for
tower
2
is
by
under
rune
attack.
exchange when all is said and done.
I actually think this is a really good Tinker game. As long as he doesn't get crushed in the laning stage by Cube and Dazzle, this should be a pretty good Tinker game later on. But we'll see. He isn't really in the best spot at the moment. Pudge.
Actually scouting out the Pudge, I believe, but Hannah still walking into it. Maybe they didn't see, so Cube's right there. Able to maintain the poison touch as well for a little bit. Hannah will end up taken out in exchange for the Pudge this time. More than likely, both the supports from PRIES rotating through to make that happen, but it'll take them a little bit of time.
He's
and he
suiciding.
denies himself. That Shadow Realm click, not enough. And that's a real bad man, right there.
It's a level 1 Shadow Realm. They needed to continue hitting him with the AA, but Cube juked well in the woods, in the trees. They didn't see him, and because of that, they didn't get him. Anyway, yeah, I thought they scouted him with a courier too, so it was I'm curious why Tinker goes in like that into the Pudge. He knows where he is.
They must have
Or
not
at
seen it.
least he
Oh,
should-
the hook
oh my
somehow past the creeps. How? Wish needs to get in range for the Q, and he doesn't because there's too many brambles in here. But man,
A good hook, but also very good reaction by Dark Willow. There stops him stops them from killing his mid.
they recognize that at least one of them needs to keep hanging around this middle lane as long as Tinker's there and as long as you can account.
Top lane now, Pudge. Pudge is on the top lane, and this Jug needs to be careful as well. You can see that he's going back instantly, possibly to Shrine up.
Yeah, that is available. They're also making a lot of stacks here for Tinker right now.
That's super important. They need a really fat Tinker, but this same Tinker is very scouted out by Dazzle, and the hook is there.
Easiest hook of his life with that rune, scouting it out. He's running down Hannah, but there's help coming in through now. There's no way he can still teleport though. Meanwhile, Stampede as well. Just running down Faye down bottom between the three of them. Nefert making rotation, not back top, but down bottom.
Yeah, that's a really good play. That's a really good play by the Jug, realizing that he needs to leave that top lane as Enchantress hit 6. He would just be completely zoned out of the lane, so he goes back down bottom, takes an easy kill on the Terrorblade, who also just used Metamorphosis, so that's double the value. Screen might not be so lucky as Jug. Let's see. Oh, the hook does not connect.
Yeah. That one was juked. Hannah. Look at this damage though. Dazzle has a medallion of courage. Is he gonna take after this?
He's dead. He's dead.
Oh my god. That's the kind of Dazzle that we're looking towards. I mean,
yeah, Poison Touch is physical, and he has a medallion as well. Top lane Centaur is being down by Cube's Pudge, but Cube is looking in the wrong direction. He should realize it if he sees the tree cut, but he didn't see it, and Sidoi is just out of there.
The other day we saw a mid Dazzle that just didn't get anything done, was playing super passively, but Wish, that's the kind of stuff that you're looking for, you know? Max out Poison Touch, you've got the medallion, you've got your bad Juju, and that's a lot of minus armor, a lot of physical damage you can throw out.
Yeah. That's a lot of heals that will be going Terrorblade as well.
Yep.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So far so good. Effort still hanging around bottom, tier 1 still standing, Boogie now in that particular matchup, phase farming and pushing top instead. Cube is trying to TP out. Oh, the Bramble's too late. Sure if they weren't cooldown already or whatnot. He gets out, they get the tower. Phase back in farming mode. Yeah, it's a little bit of catching up to do. Nefert is still top of the charts, but you tend to farm a little bit quicker on the Terrorblade left to your own devices, right?
Yeah, I mean, Terrorblade, just like that Naga game in the last one, should just be AFK farming. Oh, that?
The hell? Oh, it's just Shadow Wave nuke and 2 creeps. Just zapping him down from half HP to 0.
Poison Touch was there as well, right?
Yeah,
so.
Poison Touch and all the minus armor and whatnot.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Minute 10 is approaching. Jug will take these top 2 runes, it seems. Yeah, he steals 2 top bounty runes, pretty good for him. This Jug needs to be very active, as Tinker cannot be. Soul Ring just flying out at Hannah, actually. He's very far away from travels. He's 2.5k. Now, man, he got handled on mid lane. He's 2.6k. Dazzle is 4.6k. This is a bad spot to be in as a Tinker.
They have some catching up to do. Cube is there. Kind of hanging around. He sees the marches, but with the Dark Willow chasing, maybe not a whole lot that you can do, but
he can kill him.
Oh, he's sleeping in already.
Oh, so sad.
That would have been crazy if he got that, honestly.
That would be game over for Tinker, right there. He would lose everything he just got. That would be insta game over.
Just imagine if one of these wards that the Radiant plastered all over the top lane in the dire jungle was down here in the side jungle. It would have done.
Tinker has to be careful not to get hooked. Pudge sees him. Oh, this might be a hook.
I'm also looking at screen right now, who's almost there, but this time Sidoi's there with Stampede, trying to play against Wish, who doesn't have the Shell Grave just yet, so they will be able to bring him down between the 3 of them. The Tinker, though, also got caught at the same time.
Yeah, Wish dying definitely isn't that great for them, as this is a hero that falls off, while Tinker is a hero that just gains momentum and gains speed. But then again, Tinker, yeah, how much speed can he gain when he's driving in a reverse right now?
Yeah.
So that's a problem.
Still a few stacks available in the jungle. But well, those will not quite get him towards the boots of travel. Certainly not if they are interrupted or if he gets killed in that jungle again, because this is still warded.
Yeah, they still have the wards inside. Centaur is in vision and Hook is there. Dismember is there. Oh, it's not.
Not
It's
quite.
not. He was a little bit slow on the Dismember. Very curious because, very interesting because Pudge usually can Dismember before the Stomp. I guess he lost vision and that was the problem. Oh, Hasted Shadow Demon. Oh, they misplayed that a little bit.
That's a die. Slowed down. Couple of right clicks here from Boogie, but it's not strong enough. Ice Blast coming in, and well, it did clip Boogie, so it's a very easy kill indeed. The rest of WindAndRain on the run. Nefrit though ready with the ultimate, with the Omni
Level
Slash.
1 ult.
Oh yeah, never mind. It's not gonna do anything between the three of them.
Yeah, he was thinking about it, but there's 3 heroes and then there's Dazzle with Shadow Wave. Like, you just give up on that kill. It's better.
It's very important though to punish WindAndRain if they go deep into the jungle like that. Because that's creating a bit more space for Hannah. I mean, he was doing the stacks and farms on the side jungle again, which is safe enough if you know where the rest of WindAndRain is at, I guess. It's like the emergency mode for PRIES. That's all they need to focus on right here. The courier. Get the shield up, Nefrit slowed down, forcing out that spin.
They tried to be a little bit too greedy there. I'm certain Pudge could have hooked the Jug if they just went for Jug instead.
Yeah.
But they go for the courier gets shielded, Jug also escapes. Some small mistakes, and now they're scanning out the Pudge, they know where he is.
Isolated right now, Sadoi is there with the Stampede, Nefrit on top of that too, Dismember. Getting a bit of extra health, but
He tried to Soul Rings deny, but this time he wasn't happy enough, wasn't lucky enough to deny himself.
alright. Tinker's gonna have the boots of travel right now. Still super late, and still gonna be a while until he becomes this monster that we know him, that we know he can be. He needs to blink, he needs to eat the lens, and then you start going into Ags. Maybe Hex, maybe Dagon. But I guess there's not too many ways beyond the Pudge to catch him right now, as don't have any other blinks or anything.
They disrupted Nefrit, they used the Purge on him, but there's no follow-up, no one is even around, Pudge isn't even close. So they give up, and talking about their catch, they definitely do need Pudge to be the one that catches heroes out, and so far he's done a good job. But we'll see how the game progresses and what he'll be able to do afterwards. His Blink build definitely does help him get these kills. Does let him reposition himself versus the Tinker as well.
Yep.
But he remains fairly squishy.
Well, actually going in, the Ice Blast connects on to the spin, doing a bit of damage here. Shallow Grave used by Dazzle. They're trying to get himself out, but it's not going to happen here, is it? Nope, Storm kind of low. He is sticking to the Poison Touch. But the Healing Water is there. Gets taken care of by the illusions, but it's got enough done to make sure that Centaur does survive.
I think they need this Terrorblade to start joining them in these fights as soon as possible. They just don't have enough heroes on the map, and Tinker will eventually become a problem. You don't want that. Oh! And that Tinker he doesn't understand just how close he is to dying.
Closer than way too close perhaps, but the Stampede gets him out. Dismember alone, not enough. Hannah does live. There's any follow-up for Pudge there, they just get that kill and set him back again.
They just need someone to play around Pudge, or someone to play with Pudge, anyone. Right now, they're wasting a lot of their momentum, a lot of their time. They get a good hook, but there's no one to follow up. They find a top lane. Is Tinker going to? No, Tinker is fine. Almost died though. Just went back, rearmed and traveled back, but he was so low.
There's no fight happening here. They're just going in on Yoku. They secure one kill on Shadow Demon. The Ice Blast does connect on Boogie. Spin to win. Nefrit super freaking fast right now with that Ace Stone. Good Omni Slash to make sure the Boogie ends up dropping, and they do indeed. Despite the Blink Stomp. taking any chances. The 2 heroes down. Tinker's right there. Cube just, oh god, wrong place, wrong time. He's gonna fall as well.
This is game no all.
And this is where his lineup perhaps starts to get a little bit harder to execute for WindAndRain when this death ball starts to come into play, when PRIES is playing around the Tinker, protecting him in the middle of these fights so he can throw marches, rockets, and lasers.
And this isn't even his prime time. He's still in recovery mode.
Exactly.
And they're losing fights. Something went horribly wrong for WindAndRain. And you can see that Enchantress is going for a Midas next.
Dire's top tower is
And
under
they're drawing some incomprehensible drawings on the minimap. They're flaming each other most likely, so...
All of them went
they
to
are-
art school apparently, so that's that. But there is still
I won't call that art, but whatever floats your boat.
As I said, they didn't go to art school.
They didn't go.
So, yeah.
Alright, alright, I get you, I get you.
But
You know,
farming
there's
is
there's
zero.
art in everything, man.
tower is under attack.
Don't start with that. You know, I've been to a freaking modern art museum. I saw like a splash of paint on the canvas,
Has fallen.
and they call that
that's
shit
art.
art. It's like, no, it's not.
Dire's
It doesn't mean anything.
is under attack.
That's art. That's most certainly art. It's so eccentric and so
Dire's structures
beautiful, and
fortified.
it reminds me of my childhood. I love it.
Dude,
Radiant's
people
are scanning.
get away with the stupidest shit.
Yeah.
Radiant's
In that
bottom
department,
tower
it's
is under
crazy.
attack.
Anyway, point is, facial farming. 0-1-0, that's your kind of carry scoreline. 18 minutes into the game, so he's gonna get himself that BKB, already has some mana style. Oh, gets stomped on
Boogie.
bottom though. That's Enchantress Boogie. Caught again, Stampede also used, a lot of counter damage being done, but we'll be able to finish the job right here. Sash, what's hanging around? Hannah saying hello with the Blink Dagger. Faye will get the counter kill on screen. So 1-for-1 in the end, but is that really going to be enough for Kanal Sash? Dropping very low, but not low enough. Hannah. Ah, they guessed correctly, but just a little bit late.
Yeah, definitely not good enough considering Enchantress died for AA. Elisage should be thinking about, oh, Elisage.
All alone, gets a few spells off on Yoku, but still stunned up.
They're unstoppable.
Brought down, and Yoku, well, he's going to tie in turn.
6
a
kill
good for
streak
Faye.
for Faye. Yeah, that's
a
pretty
lot
good for him.
Faye.
Overall, I think you need to save that disruption for when Ange gets A ulted. Once she gets A ulted, you need to save her a little bit. Another problem for Boogie's Ange is the fact that he went for a really... I don't know, it's a mix of a build. He went for the Hood to help him versus A and Dark Willow, Tinker too, but then he followed up with the Midas. So he's like, I don't know. He's not really good at anything at the moment. He cannot dish out any damage because of the build. It's not really very strong at the moment. And it's not like he's tanky enough. It's not like he has a BKB and can survive through AA ulti with Dark Willow. So.
Here we are, Shadow Demon. Trying to get the rune, and well, all he got was death. It's a bit of a freebie. I believe they got both top. Boogie and Cube got one each.
Remember when Poison Touch used to stun you?
Oh god, that was so good.
That was so good. Especially like it would be so good if you had that versus Tinker right now. They need some catch. They need some Athos or some Hex on someone else. It's not
Radiant's
enough.
bottom tower
Like
is
they
under
have,
attack.
this team has no stuns, by the way. If you don't, let's not call disruption a stun and dismember. They have no stuns. Like they needed to itemize for that. I wouldn't even mind if I saw Enchantress buying an Athos instead of that Hood and then a 4-staff after,
Yep.
or a BKB. That Athos would have helped them with the Tinker, with the Willow, with the AA.
Dire's top tower
Yeah.
is under attack.
No one's getting that going anytime soon, but it looks of it, so just gonna have to
At
rely
least
on
the
Shadow
Hex.
Demon or
Dire's
the
middle
Punch
tower
be in
is under attack.
the right position.
And they invested in this Hood like on 2-3 heroes. It's also not awesome. And Cube, he was involved in a lot of assists early on, but he didn't get those kills. And so his item progression is pretty bad. He still doesn't have a single item after Tranquils and Soul Ring.
Therefore, it sees the Shadow Demon, not a whole lot you can do about him. So just walk away from each other. They already got them tier 2 bottom, like PRIES is starting to put on more and more pressure. Tinker, it's going to get stronger and stronger by the minute. And he should, yeah, it does have the Easel completed right now. Needs to have a pick it. Yeah, needs to go to the side chop or the secret chop to finish it up properly. Then you start to slowly drift towards the danger zone. Even with Faye on the Terrorblade, he's being countered by this Tinker on the other side, so I guess you need to start to get some value out of this guy sooner rather than later, right? He's still very strong, he can still do a lot of damage with the Metamorphosis, and especially with the BKB protecting him right now. Let's see if they can find the situations for now. PRIES catching up on some work. Tier 1 in the mid lane, still standing for the Radiant side. At the same time, WindAndRain up top. Timidly pushing away, but up against the March. Seems pretty damn hard unless you can somehow catch a Stinker. Hooking, fishing expedition, but without vision, very hard to actually land that.
I think he, like, I definitely do respect his item choice. But if he had something like a Vessel Blade Mail this game, it's so good versus the Tinker and the Dark Willow. I think he'd be much more difficult for them to deal with. He'd have that, that's a kill. But this is a little bit late what they're doing. They're only now are they starting to play together, Dazzle and Pudge. I think they needed to do it a bit sooner. Also, Dazzle went for that Midas as well. Midas with the cooldown reduction of bad Juju is definitely good on him. At the same time, Dazzle is a hero that needs to like do stuff early on. He falls off very fast. However, with this Midas, maybe he'll be able to keep it up later on in the game. They have a Midas on Ench, Midas on Dazzle.
Yeah.
They're looking for that late game. And Faye, he's definitely very comfortable on Terrorblade. And if he can't carry on Terrorblade, I don't know what he can.
That's his option here before Stomp can come out. So, oh, he's actually blocked there for a second, but of course he's maybe face boots everything to get himself out of trouble. But yeah, I mean,
that's a Metamorphosis baited out, by the way. That's a huge cooldown, yeah. So that wasn't really that optimal for WindAndRain.
Yeah, I mean, kind of agree with you because in my book, as I said before when the game started, Terrorblade's one of the best carries late game in the book. I mean, things are a little bit dicey in a game like this. You're certainly gonna have to play around that Ice Blast from the Ancient Apparitions. It's one of these things that can just mess you up late game. Especially if your Dazzle's still committing to this feel-good builds of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a pipe, I'm gonna have the Guarding Greaves, all of the heals in the world. But eventually, with that double Midas, or with its half cooldown Midas, with the extra Midas, also in the Enchantress, you're gonna have the ability to scale. You eventually will start to get some of these control items, like the Hexes and whatnot. And
yeah, I mean,
Enchantress, she can also do a lot of damage here, especially with the Hurricane Pipe completed and whatnot.
Later on, definitely, and like 1 or 2 good hooks, the game can change very easily. Like one of the reasons why I hate Cube Spudge is, like, even if he fails early on, you know, like if he doesn't have a good start, it's very difficult to push against him. He just gets you out of position under tier 4s, and then the push becomes almost impossible. And that's why Pudge is pretty good in this game. Also, when he hooks you, he has this Dazzle follow-up with Poison Touch, with so much minus armor, Enchantress wailing on you. So, we'll see, because as I stated before, I believe PRIES has a really good chance in the late game as well. They have these Midases, but they are playing versus a Tinker who is going for Aghanim's, which is a really good build versus Terrorblade, versus Enchantress as well. Those lasers are going to be flying out everywhere.
Lee's is bouncing, rockets flying. Now, oh, the hook perfectly timed on a TP cube. It's gonna need some help, and he has it from Wish. Hannah starting to drop low, too low in fact. Ice Blast will connect only in cube, but already out of there. That's the kind of stuff that you're looking towards. You need to slow down the Tinker because the rest of the team, oh god, they're actually going Sam anyway. Boogie is down with the catapult. They're doing a bit of chip damage here to this tower before the rest of WindAndRain can come in. Now Lesage caught in the Brambles. Offensive disruption here. The hook onto the Juggernaut here. inside the base all alone until Sadoi comes through with a shallow grave to keep Pudge alive for the time being. A good feeling one. Nefert. Oh, Ice Boss will connect, and that should still be the kill. And it is.
Oh, Tinker
indeed.
bought back. Because of Terrorblade. FaZe taking their axes.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
Three things happening all over the place. Faye with the BKB TP out, but Rex already dead.
Yeah.
What is this game?
And he forced the buyback on Tinker. This game is basically outplayed by WindAndRain. They outplayed them super hard. Boogie, perhaps he didn't have to bait Omnislash so hard until he had Dazzle next to him. He just tried to stop Centaur and Jug from taking the tier 3, which he did do, but he did die.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter in the end. This was a really good fight for WindAndRain as they take down a tier 3 and melee Rexes on the mid lane. And what do they lose? They lose Anch, they lose Pudge, and they force a buyback from Tinker, which is crazy good for them.
Very quick series of events. First the kill on Tinker, then the situation in the top. Faye taking advantage of all this kerfuffle. Now another disruption over on Juggernaut. Spin is still available. Now defensive hook. Keeping on Sash alive. So we're trying to make a power grab, you know, we're trying to get control, taking down these objectives.
BKB completed on Enchantress too now. Faye just ratting them, has that butterfly completed. They don't have Hex for him, so it's very unlikely that they'll be able to control him so long that he dies before BKB is Sunder. Oh, but this isn't good. This is not good. This is BKB and he pours bottom, but now they instantly go into the pit. There's no Terrorblade, there's no BKB. Then again, Meta was on cooldown, so I don't think they are able to contest this rush anyway. But maybe they can delay it, hook someone, you know, just play around it. You'll see. They're hunting Dazzle.
Catch somebody. Sadoi with the blink, with the stomp on Elisash. Defensive hook. Ice Blast will miss as a result as
Boogie
well.
killed AA.
Okay, he did indeed. And now, oh, that's Nefert controlled up. Right click down. Spin is not enough to save you at this point. You have to realize this. It's not a BKB charge done, at least on Enchantress, but hey. They certainly stopped any sort of Rosh attempt. They could even go for it themselves. Boogie can tank it. Fake it certainly has enough damage.
They outplayed them super hard there. And PRIES Gaming, maybe they outplayed themselves a little bit too. Instead of going for that easy rush, when they know the Terrorblade just ported bottom, they try to make some crazy chase with the Centaur Stampede, even though they have no vision on them, no proper vision. And they just feed kills. That hook again from Pudge, just saving the Shadow Demon, makes it easy for them to turn on the Jug as well, as he can just spin out. Yeah, pretty well played. And now, what looked like a decent PRIES game, after a couple of misplays, is definitely in favor of WindAndRain once again.
Yeah. Also the Matrix 9k advantage. They're the one with the Wrecking Ball. They don't quite have a creep after bottom, not for a little while. So this tier 2 will probably be standing for a moment longer, especially if Yoku can somehow slow this down even further. But he's just looking for the bounce ruins for the time being. Okay, they just backdoor the tower. I guess that's one way to do it. So now, if they get towards high ground, as long as FaZe survives, you can just probably get rid of all of the buildings right there.
He just has to use the BKB, that's the thing. And he is very close to Skadi, so I believe they'll wait for the next big item before they push. Actually changed into Basher from Skadi.
Okay.
Alright. Interesting. Hey, it's really dead.
Out in front of them. Yeah, very dead indeed. Popsicle has been melted.
Tip him! He tipped you before. Where's the tip game? I guess they're out of tips. They tipped him too many times already.
There's a lot of back and forth tipping going on already. Yes, mid lane. Okay, that's the healing ward already out. It should be sniped by some illusions or whatever as the Stampede to get them away. Sadoi with the Delta split.
He's very slow though.
Yeah, he's done for now, isn't he? Poison touch reflected. Oh no! Whatever should we do? Well, still kill him and just ignore it.
I left my hook prints in the backside.
That's a very important kill. I mean, losing Ancient Apparition, that sucks, but having no Stampede, no Centaur,
Yeah, you're losing that frontliner. Just lost that frontliner, but Faye is still farming up in the jungle, finishing off his what I suspect will be an abyssal. Yeah, full abyssal is flying out to him. It seems he needs still a little bit of gold for vitality booster. I guess for some control versus the Tinker, maybe even versus the Jug. It's not really a very common item on a Terrorblade. And it's not really easy to push high ground. You're still pushing versus the Tinker, so even though Centaur is dead, you need Cube to connect a couple of hooks. What's really good for Cube is even though he had a really late start with this Blink Dagger, he definitely put it to good use. And now he has Lateral Lens on top of it, so he can hook targets that are very far away. And it's just that extra factor of surprise that Lateral Lens gives to this Pudge.
Yeah, you think you're safe, like standing behind your racks even, and it's like, oh, no, you're still being hooked.
Exactly.
Putting the fronts, keep yourself alive with that last bit of the healing ward. Ship damage is being done here and there with some illusions, with some necro creeps every once in a while. But so far
the
they're
Abyssal should be, yeah, it's on the courier, has full Abyssal. They still have a minute and 30 seconds to work with. They should definitely pressure this before the Aegis is out, I believe. But getting a pick off would definitely make it easier. Perhaps some hook first.
It's either
like
that
the
or we
Hex
just push two lanes at the same time, right? I mean, Tinker can only really defend one.
That's also possible, yes.
Looks like that's what they're doing, or trying to do. Faye down bottom, the rest of his team up top.
Oh.
Tinker's bottom right here, Nefrit holding fort up top, Bogey. Taking a few spells, forcing back and forth and out, in and out.
Faye just got really low on the bottom lane.
Oh, there's the hook, that's a long range hook onto Nefrit. Can you find a real one? No, he's only slashing for the time being, back and forth, out to the side here with the Ice Blast connecting to, on top with the Terrorize. This will be that Dazzle and that Enchantress, but space created, perhaps extra illusions being made in its bottom lane. Face already TPing out without the BKB, but there was no one there to cancel it here. They get the tier 3 only, and they lose another hero forward. And the gem that LSF was holding onto.
Yeah, no, not worth. Also, they're losing Aegis in 20 seconds. Definitely not worth. Pretty poor strategical approach to how they were about to push that high ground. They had like one situation in which they could have hooked that Jug and killed him off afterwards, but Enchantress got into the way, so the hook connected on her instead of onto the Jug. And then later on, they just didn't have the manpower necessary to take him down. Cube.
That is the Centaur. He's tanky, but he's tanking out. That's a whole bunch of illusions there from Faye. Now the look onto Hannah. That's a bigger one. Controlled up, but Nefrit's still there. Faye cannot hang around. Doesn't have Metamorphosis. Doesn't have the Aegis anymore. Has to have that Cube go. Sodoi, and for some revenge. Does have the Blink Storm, but can't get in range. Yes, yeah.
That was a good hook, but there's no follow-up, so probably it would have been better for him if he didn't hook him at all, if he just ran. It's difficult though. You see that Tinker and you're like, I want that Tinker booty.
I mean, you can't stop making plays if you're playing Pudge, right? It's like one of these things where, alright, maybe you die. Maybe it's not actually worth it, but maybe it is. And we could be in a really good position if we somehow got the kill on this Tinker. But it's only Terrorblade there, Faye not feeling comfortable actually engaging into that. It's not really going to happen, and now look for screen. He's off to the side with the anti-Tinker ward for himself.
No, the sentry should be scouted out, but so will be the ward. Oh, it's like that.
It's been some Shadow Poison trying to find him, but it's taking too long. All right, so PRIES stabilizing. They're still holding on to most of the high ground. Mid-Rax, also not the worst one to have not available to you.
Tinker is going to have Hex very soon as well.
Yeah.
He could have it right now, but still saving some gold. And after that happens, the game changes again. PRIES have a shot at just locking a target down and killing it off. Like Faye, they can take him out before he gets that BKB off or Sunder. Do they have any Lotus Orbs? Yeah, surprising that Dazzle is queuing up Necro Tree instead of a Lotus. Lotus on Dazzle is so valuable in this game. Plus, with that cooldown reduction of 50%. It would be huge for them. Cube also not going for Lotus Orb. I think they need that, especially versus the Tinker.
I mean, at least they still have the Shadow Demon Disruption to try and...
Yeah.
I mean, that's enough to
Save.
buy time and to just make sure that the BKB can come out. 4-staff also available on Shadow Demon to get in position, so they do have some counterplays, but having more of them available is always going to be nice. This gives you more options to work with. For now, they're slowing things down a little bit. No Aegis, no nothing. Roshan might respawn in 15 seconds, give or take. That's probably gonna be the next big deal for both teams to try and secure.
Yeah, Faye is really
Faye.
deep.
Way too deep here. The push is not strong enough down bottom to really make PRIES look behind themselves right now. So that was very aggressive positioning from him.
You have vision on the other side of the map. I really don't know what he's expecting there. Why he goes there and farms with his main hero instead of an illusion. Of course they're going to go for you. Of course they will be farming there. You have all your teammates on the other side of the map, and they don't see anyone. So yeah, a little bit of a misplay there. Terrorblade pays with his life, and
Tinker has a blink across the hook.
Oh,
I like the idea, but
yeah, I think they would have gotten him there because Boogie was close, Shadow Demon as well. They definitely had firepower necessary to take down the Tinker.
so the Necro creeps from Dazzle. A little bit of extra damage.
Hook?
Oof, almost.
Roshan has respawned, and 30 seconds without Terrorblade. PRIES, I don't think they're going to fail this time around. They will go into the pit.
That was a super quick respawn too.
Yeah.
Super valuable for PRIES. There's Aegis and cheese. If they go on their hands here and there's a tiny bit of pressure, but nothing really to worry about down bottom. No one's there to take advantage of this Roche attempt. It's already over. Didn't take long at all either. Cheese inside the pit. Stoy should be able to pick that up. Faye's back at least. We're back to the situation where a lot of the eggs are sitting in the Starblade basket right now for WindAndRain. Fire too, though. Like, they're getting tools to deal with him. If they catch him out, they will be able to kill him every single time. As long as Tinker or Nephrid are around. No smoke up on Sidoi. As well as Yoku and Scream. Trying to bait out Nephrid. Cube. He reveals himself. That should be a free kill, but they're running into Boogie first. Also not on the low ground. Stampede to try and catch up. Alistar is there. BKB TP out. Oh, Bissell Blade on Juggernaut, so no way to deal with that. Is WindAndRain just waiting for a good opportunity right here, or are they playing for other items, for other things? Guess they'd have to wait out the ages now, right?
Yeah, I think you just wait it out and you wait for their mistake. You pretty much camp high ground like you did before, and you play on Pudge, just getting those hooks and maybe a split push like before. You're only 2k ahead now. It's not like you're, you know, in the best. Oh, they disrupt, but they don't get the hook afterwards.
That's kind of hard to pull off with these illusions kind of being in the way.
Yeah, I think if you're WindAndRain, you just chill out right now.
Yeah.
Your split pushing plays aren't really great too because there's a Tinker to defend, so it's not as easy any longer. You can do it with BKB on Terrorblade, but then you're risking being caught as that BKB ends.
Yeah.
But you have to find a way to delay it definitely a little bit from now on.
At the very least, you can send some illusions down the lane. Push those out a little bit here and there. And PRIES, they're not really forcing anything right now, but they might be able to get Bogey here. The Blink Stomp. They're going to TP out once again. It's kind of costly. That was the 8-second charge. But it's getting closer to the Agnum Scepter, I guess. But at this point, you also need to hold on to buyback. Everyone has it, by the way. All across the map. No one's missing gold. No one's missing cooldowns. Everyone with 2 lives to work with right now. Surely this can't be just pure farming ages for PRIES, right? Right now they're having trouble even with a Tinker to kind of keep all lanes pushed out though. Makes it a little bit hard. Because one wrong move maybe gets bogged down in a high ground siege.
I was muted again, sorry.
Okay.
They should
I was
definitely,
wondering why you
they
went
should
out there.
definitely be looking for a fight. They have Aegis, they have Nullifier, Cheese is there as well. They should be looking at catching people out.
We gotta stay on the move.
I mean, you can still buy an additional item on Tinker, that's for sure, or even 2, but I think they're in a really good spot at the moment to take a decent fight. Hench has no BKB, MKB is going for the Aghanims. So as long as you bait out the BKBs and kite them out, and then fight afterwards, you should have no problems taking a good fight. And also you shouldn't have problems kiting out the BKBs when you have Aegis and Cheese.
Yep.
We'll see how they approach the rest of the game. I think they're hunting for Pudge right now, as they know that he's there, they scanned him.
Get a beeline straight for the stop line, couple pings.
Couple of pings exactly where he is. He does blink out though. Oh, you don't want this hook cube.
It really doesn't. And there we go, the Elisash, that's a support. That's another gem though, what the hell? Just trying to de-ward, then he gets caught out. Yikes. But Age is gonna expire in 30 seconds, so they can't really use that for high ground. So far so good for WindAndRain. Strategically, they haven't really been punished too hard. Satanic. Is just a loot.
Oh, Pudge just TP's away. He's so fine.
He's also building his own BKB, so it's another one that can just BKB TP out every single time. Maybe not if Juggernaut is there. I mean, he's hitting pretty hard with Boss right now, so maybe that'll do it. But he's also going for his Basher and Abyssal. They also realize that he needs some ways to deal with that. Alright. Like in Dota, Cube. Dangerously close to some enemies, but
A very, very dance game Resident Sleeper late game Dota as well.
yeah, not a whole lot of happening.
I have a feeling Priest just doesn't know what to do with this advantage, but maybe they can find Cube here. He does have buyback though.
Yep.
They most certainly get him here, but he does have buyback. But it's a good kill, and now perhaps you can force that buyback to be used. That's what you should be doing.
70 seconds. Top lane, it's a single Terrorblade illusion, but it's enough to help push this out very, very quickly. Tinker should be able to take care of that. The rest of the team needs to be dealing with these other lanes. What is this? Black Dragon. What?
What?
Enchantress got the Enchant Ancient Talents. It's like this Black Dragon pushing out the wave. Look at
He
this
actually
mid.
went for the... I mean, alright, this game, it's not like the right clicks are killing him. 90% of the time you go for the untouchable slow though, but in this game I guess the dragon, you can get the dragon, you can get the Thunderhide. Thunderhide is crazy good. It gives you that frenzy.
Oh yeah.
The Ancient Granite Golem as well, it gives you HP,
15%.
which is also,
Pretty
yeah,
good.
it's also good.
Look at the Pudge. Look, imagine Pudge. It's like, what, 450 extra HP. Anyway, Sadoi being gone on, or maybe going on Faye. BKB comes through. They're deciding to fight. A Abyssal Blade on the Juggernaut. Nefert taking a bit of damage here. Needing to spin out. The Healing Ward stayed alive for long enough to be able to live through that for the time being. And even the hits from Boogie. Doing damage, but not enough.
Dark
Now
Willow.
Hex over on Dark Willow. No way out of this one here.
Does
Buying
have that
time.
blink, but yeah, it's just that. Again, Pri is just making these moves, but they aren't really completely all on the same page. So the moves fail, and then WindAndRain is in control again. Boogie there forcing the Centaur to use the cheese. Perhaps he could have killed Nefrit instead, but went on the Centaur. Oh, there's an arcane room for Tinker. This will make pushing much more difficult. Terrorblade still does not have that BKB, so they should probably wait that out before they push. Oh, hook. Cube.
Almost.
Guess is wrong. Guess is wrong.
Yeah. PRIES, but now they're kind of locked in their own base for a little bit, aren't they? I mean, Tinker not necessarily. You can just do shenanigans elsewhere, but the rest of his team.
I don't know. It really felt like PRIES had like everything they needed to end this game, or at least force a couple of buybacks and take one side with that Aegis and Cheese, but they didn't manage to. So
Got
I'm not
bogged
really
down
sure.
running around the map, trying to look for kills rather than just pushing down the lane. Relying on Tinker to defend. Well, what do you do? I mean, this Terrorblade is ultra farmed. With the Traveler online, you can still get the effort. Slow down, he what's still going. Should be fine. What does the Axe do on Terrorblade again? I have no idea. Anyway, there's a big storm. This time there's Lotus Orbs and everything going. Disarms and roots both ways as the Stampede comes out from Sedoi to the Abyssal Blade. They're still gonna get this kill. Maybe not the Glimmer Cape. Everything used to keep him safe. That was pretty damn close, but now Faye without his BKB and trouble in the front lines here. Nuke down. So far the first disruption, but will only delay the inevitable. They have the counter hacks. That's the buyback to work with, but you don't really want to use it like this. The rest of WindAndRain, they're on the run. Boogie. That will force after the high ground punch. Call in the front though and Shadow Grave.
Okay,
there's
Terrorblade
the
bought
buyback
back.
now. Maybe that's too deep. Priest still hanging around. Pudge, he's ticking, but there's the defense interruption. Faye goes in, stumped up. Still no
There's no
BKB for
BKB.
25 seconds. Disarmed. Mandastyle, the illusion still working away. Sedoi, very, very low. Will be on the ranged bash. That's one way to do it. Here, meanwhile, support have been tracked down. Priest without AA, without.
Hey,
Dark
Roshan
Willow.
is up,
Roshan
so
is
you
up.
can go into you can go into the pit instantly and make use of this buyback. But
have to.
what's stopping PRIES from fighting you there? That's the question. They don't have Omni Slash and that's it. They can
is
still
going
fight.
in.
Hey, sending ulti, yeah.
Not be dodged. Faye has to wait it out. Spin forward. Just dismember. I think he. I don't know what that was. The Lotus Orbs.
Faye's going in with the BKB.
Abyssal Blade. They need to bring down Juggernaut with this. If not, this would be very, very bad. The hook missing. And now that attempt. This balance of power shifting in favor of PRIES. They've got the rockets flying.
Yeah, and
He's got
Tinker
the
isn't even
space of
25 yet. Like, he doesn't even have the mini stun yet ready for him. But overall, going in like that, going ham, like Faye did, after using a buyback is very bold. Because even if you kill that Jug and you die afterwards, maybe he has buyback. And he most certainly does.
Yeah.
And that's game over for you. That would be game over, so.
Big Stomp. Catching Elisage here. They're going in detail. Grave will keep him alive for a little bit. The hook out, but Stampede was still going. Centaur absolutely fine. Could not control him up. Just another buyback, but down. Or the BKB. This one was from Boogie. There's the hook again, though. Cube maybe finally setting up for Sedoi, but the 4-stop down. They just can't kill him. Well, maybe they can with all the illusions. Couple of clicks from the high ground, but they just. There's too much support, too much heal.
Oh,
With all the
another
hooks
hook.
and walls are not enough to bring down the Centaur or anyone for that matter anymore.
I think they need MKB as well on Ench maybe, but he went for the Agonist and now he's buying Moonshard. The reason why Sido is surviving is his halberd, like it continuously makes Ench miss, and he gets out multiple times in a row now from very long range impetuses that just do not connect. But overall, you can see this. This is all on Cube, I think. It's all on him to win the game for his teammates with some good hooks.
He's got the hooks, and there's perhaps one of the good ones here. Hacks up the high ground, but don't quite have the follow-up story. I was just expecting this counter initiation. Didn't really
Oh,
go
the
in on
Lotus!
that.
On the
Now the Lotus.
Tinker!
The Tinker! He's banished up. Faye's right there. Cube is there too with the Dismember. Doesn't quite get it off now. Terrorized, but Faye got his BKB off. That's an important kill. Buyback is available for the Tinker, but that's, don't necessarily want to use it unless you need it
huge,
for the
yeah.
defense. And it looks like WindAndRain, they're gonna force it out.
I don't know. We'll see. Cube doesn't have Terrorblade doesn't have a buyback. If you want, you can buy back the Tinker and fight this and make the game win or lose the game right here. We'll see. He's buying back.
Stomp, no BKB, there's a hook across from the other side. Ice Blast connects on Faye. If they can bring him down, this would be really, really big. And Pistol Blade controlling him through the Jungle Grave. Defensive disruption.
He's dead.
He's dead. 30 Ice Blast was on top of him the whole time. He's not going to be coming back. So Tinker has free reign. Once again, loads up to try and turn this around. Wish maybe he can do some extra damage here if they can keep the control up, but they just can't. It's just not enough at this point. Him and Cube together.
They're
And
trying
it's
to go for
tickling
Tinker.
them against the entirety of PRIES. Tinker, he's dropping lower and lower with Shadow Demon going in. Disruption cancels that TP. There's still some Necro Warriors going in, and it's not enough, is it? Not quite. Everyone buying back that they can, but Enchantress right now, all alone. It's going to take them a little while. But eventually Nefert secures that ultra kill. Roshan down and a third of his health points. Could be a very easy next target. Nothing that Cupid Dazzle, Cupid Wish can do about this. And
They had 2
I don't know.
minutes. Tinker was dead for 2 minutes, 120 seconds. In that situation, you don't go into the pit before you have BKB on Terrorblade. He should be making that call.
yeah.
That was the issue. Like in that situation, if you're Terrorblade and you get stun locked in that pit without a BKB, you're dead. Yeah, there's a save. They have disruption, but you will die from just the Ancient's ulti, and that's what happened. Tinker buybacks. They just showed the game right there. Still 50 seconds without the Terrorblade, 50 without the Shadow Demon. They should pressure this instantly. They are taking at least 2 sides here, I believe, if not even running off with the game. Dazzle has been
Another
caught.
kill. Dazzle. Oh, that's another hook all the way into the fountain. That's not even hitting Sidoi all that hard, all that much right now. Just going straight for it. They know that there's no buybacks available on anybody. Another hook almost into the fountain. He gets a few hits off on Nefert this time.
Has Rapier.
He does. He does indeed. He's just done with this game. And there's nothing, not a damn thing that WindAndRain can do about it. They're trying, and maybe these hooks, if they can get the follow-up control inside the fountain somehow, they could claim that Rapier, but it's just too much damage right now. This one is dodged. He's hitting, he's being dismembered.
That's it.
The rest of his team's right there to finish the job. Ancient is dead. That's all that matters. PRIES Gaming tie up the series 1-1 after, yeah, a few throws here and there.
Yeah,
you could say.
both teams had few throws here and there. Both teams did some really good plays too, with split pushes and the way they took that first Raxes with Terrorblade and BKB. But then when it mattered later on, they made some crucial strategical mistakes by running into that pit without having a BKB on Terrorblade. Also, when he died and bought back, and they didn't get a single kill, but the 2 supports that instantly bought back afterwards. Yeah, I mean, this is late game Dota. It can go either way, and this time around, WindAndRain, they got the short straw.
Yep.
Sadly for them.
Well, that means we're gonna be down to a deciding game 3, which will start in just a few moments' time. So don't go too far away.
LOOT.BET. Made for live betting.